Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Welcome to us all to this fresh episode of An-Nahl al-Wadih lessons. Inshallah, in this series we learn of Arabic grammar, and then in the other series of Al-Qira'at al-Rashida we learn proficiency, language proficiency. So we merge the two so we speak accurately. Grammar, it helps you to say things right. Like you have to say أريد أن أتكلم معك كنت أتكلم معه. You need to, a grammar aids you to know which vowels to put on the letters, on the words. And then the proficiency, that is where you learn vocabularies and how to form your sentences. And when you see a sentence and you think it's an everyday sentence, you just copy it and memorize it. Like if you see Astayqiz Mubakkiran fi Sabah, I wake up early in the morning, you just memorize it. Whenever the need be for you to use it, you just pump it out, you cough it out. Okay, so in this episode of An-Nahl al-Wadih, we are going to take a fresh topic, Anwa'ul I'rab. We've already learned about Al-Bina wal-I'rab, Al-Mabni wal-Mu'rab. Those that change, words that change their case endings, and words that do not change their case endings. So here we are going to learn Anwa'ul I'rab. And when we say Anwa'ul I'rab, Anwa' is the plural of noun. And when you hear noun, noun means type. This is the plural of noun, type, and Anwa' is types. So if you say Anwa'ul I'rab, the types of declension, the types of vowels that a word that declines can take. So just like the example I just gave, Uridu an atakallama. Here I said atakallama. Uridu an atakallama ma'aka. And then I say kuntu atakallamu. So you realize that the first one I said atakallama, gave it fatha, the second one I gave it dhamma. So we are trying to see in this lesson what are the types of vowels that they take, words that changes, what are the types of vowel they take, or what are the various changes they can take. So that is Anwa' al-I'rab. Basically when we say al-I'rab, we mean the harakat, the vowels. So types of vowels basically. Okay, let's get into it. It says amthila, examples. And amthila is the plural of mithal, because we have a word that is closely related, which is mathal, proverb. Mathal is plural, is amthal. Mathal, proverb, is plural. Mathal bimana proverb or wise saying is plural, is amthal. And then we have mithal, which is example, is plural, is amthila. So that is that for this. We have A.T.A yahumu. A.T.A, the bird, any kind of bird. When we say A.T.A is a species name, it covers these birds flying up, it covers the chicken, it covers all these animals that have wings. Any animal that flies is a species name. So if it says A.T.A, you can say the bird yahumu. And I've already explained that when we say hama, yahumu, we mean to hover. And it is mostly used in relation to birds, because when the bird finds a pond of water and it wants to drink from it, it comes low, but it doesn't land. It keeps sipping pieces like that. It keeps hitting with its beak in the water and picking pieces. So it keeps hovering over the water. So normally, or it sees a flower and then it doesn't want to land. You find it doing like it is landing, it's not landing, it keeps hovering over the surface. So you find this word mostly used in that regards. But it can be used also in every other regards that we want to use it. We can use it. So it says A.T.A yahumu. The bird is hovering. Okay. He says just so you can note it. Al-ma'u adbun. And when we say adbun, bimana it is sweet. The water is sweet, not like sugary, but it's very cool. It's nice. It tastes well. That is azbun. Al-hisanu jamihun. The horse is jamih. Now when we say jamih, that is an uncontrollable horse, untamed. Al-hisanu jamih. The horse is wild, is untamed. Ay jamaha, when you hear jamaha al-hisanu, that is the horse has lost control. We can't keep it in control again. So when you say al-hisanu jamihun, the horse is wild, it is untamed, it is uncontrollable. Okay, and then we have number 4. Ra'aytu A.Y.T.A. So as we are going, you can be noting the difference yourself. You realize that here is Dhamma, and then we have Al-Ma'u Dhamma, and then we have Al-Hisanu Dhamma. Then we come here, he says, Ra'aytu, I saw A.Y.T.A. Realize that A.Y.T.A from Dhamma here, it has become Fatha. Ra'aytu A.Y.T.A yahumu. I saw the bird hovering. Then he says, Sharibtul ma'a. Here you can see the fatha on the ma as against the dhamma here. Sharibtu, I drank, al ma'a, the water, azban, sweet. Dhallala al farisu al hisana. Dhallala, he tamed. When we say dhallala, to tame something. If you are a hard worker, you will have problems coming your way, which we call aqabat. That is setbacks, stumbling blocks that comes to block your way of success, climbing up. Those are called aqabat. And what do? Anta tudhallilu hadhihi al-aqabat. You tame them, you belittle it, and then you go over it. You are going ahead striving, and then your capital just gets lost like that. It is a problem. And then you belittle it, you try to be strong, and then you go over it. It falls under dhallala. Okay, so it says dhallala al-farisu al-hisana. So you can see the hisan from dhamma here becoming fatha. And then al-faris is the horse rider. Al-faris, when you hear al-faris in history, al-faris in the Arab, you are talking about somebody who is a horse rider, normally a warrior. So this horse rider or the warrior tamed the horse. Tamed, T-A-M-E-D. He made it calm. Okay, you realize that from Dhamma, the first 3 is Dhamma, the second, the words become now Fatha, Fatha, Fatha. Let's go to the last batch. He says, Nazartu ila ta'iri. Here, ta'ir takes kasra. I looked at the bird yahumu, hovering. I looked at the bird hovering. Ya'ishu as-samaku fil ma'i. Ma also take kasra here. The fish lives in water. And then he says, Nazal al-farisu anil hisani. The horse rider descended, nazala an, descended from the horse. Here you realize the hisan takes kasra. So already, even before we get to the explanation, you've realized that the nouns have moved from taking dhamma to taking fatha and then to taking kasra here. Okay, now let's come to this other batch. We have yuqidu aliyun al-misbahu. So here we dealt with nouns. We dealt with at-ta'iru, al-ma, al-hisan. These are nouns. So this first batch, you can just note them. They are nouns. I don't know if this thing can write. No. So these are nouns that we dealt with. Now on this other batch, on my left here, he says, yuqidu aliyun al-misbah. Yuqidu is from the verb awqada, and we use it for fire, light. Awqada nar. He has set the fire. He has set the fire lit. Okay. So it says, yuqidu aliyun al-misbah. Ali is lightening the lamp. Tazhafu. So the verb is yuqidu from awqada. And then tazhafu al-junudu. Al-junud, that is the army, soldiers. The soldiers are marching. Tazhafu. And then we have turiku al-ashjar. Turiku is from awraqa, to bore leaves. When the plant is standing there and we get to, is it winter? Winter or any season that flowers blossom and trees flourish, in that season you realize that the tree now starts getting leaves. That is what we call awraqa, and we say awraqat shajara. The tree has bore leaves. Okay, so this batch we are dealing with verbs, so I would like to wipe this and then we concentrate on the vowels. So here yuqidu dhamma, tazhafu dhamma, and then turiku dhamma. We come to the next. Lan yuqida. It didn't come, but I'll highlight it. There is a fatha here. Lan yuqida aliyun al-misbah. Ali will not light the lamp. Lan tazhafa, here the fatha is there. Lan tazhafa al-junudu. The soldiers will not march. So here lan means will not. We've already seen it. Then we have lan turiqa al-ashjaru. The plants or the trees will not bore or will not bear leaves. So here we have it also taking fatha. So from dhamma, fatha, and then we come to the last, lam, which means did not. Here we have lan meaning will not, lam did not. So we say lam yuqid aliyun al-misbah. Ali did not light the lamp. Lam yazhaf jundiyun. Here you see the skun. The soldier did not march. He did not march. And then we have lam turik skun shajaratun. The tree or a tree did not bear leaves. Before we get to the explanation, let me give you a brief review of what we've just seen. Now, we realize that when we talk about vowels in Arabic language, we talk about fatha, kasra, dhamma. The skun is when there is no vowel. Let's add it in this case. You have fatha, dhamma, kasra, skun. 4. These 4 nouns take 3. Verbs also take 3. How? Follow me clearly. The noun can take fatha at its end. It can take dhamma at its end. It can take kasra at its end. The noun. The noun does not end in skun. Come with me, let's see the examples here. The first one, we have dhamma. The nouns here, A.T.A, al-ma'u, al-hisan. We come here, we see A.T.A, al-ma'a, al-hisana, taking fatha. And then we see At-ta'iri, al-ma'i, al-hisani. It takes kasra. It takes these 3. Realize that they didn't give example where the noun takes skun, because nouns do not end in skun. But when you do poetry, to aid the rhyme line, nouns are able to take skun. They give a skun just to aid the rhyme line. Nouns do not take skun. Okay. Here, verbs also take fatha, dhamma, and skun. Verbs do not take kasra at its end. Come with me, let's see it here. It says yuqidu dhamma, yuqida or tazhafa fatha, and then lam yuqid yazhaf turik skun. So realize that kasra didn't come in that of the verbs, just like skun did not come in that of the nouns. So from here, you know that nouns take fatha, kasra, and then dhamma. They don't take skun, and then verbs take fatha, dhamma, and skun. The verbs also do not take kasra. In any case that you see a verb taking kasra, call my attention and tell me, you said this, but the verb is now taking kasra. What is happening? Let's resolve it together. Let's go. Al-Bahs, in explanation, it says الطائر والماء والحصان في أمثلة القسم الأول كلها أسماء. All these three are nouns. وهي في الأمثلة الثلاثة الأولى منه مرفوعة لأنها مبتدآت. What is he saying here? He's saying that these three nouns, الطائر والماء والحصان, in the first three examples, they are marfu'. Marfu' bimana, it is ending in dhamma. That is the terminology for it. We say a word is marfu' when it ends in dhamma. Okay, we will come to understand all those dimensions very well as we go on. They are dhamma because he says all of them are mubtada'at. Because at-ta'iru is mubtada. We've already seen mubtada wal khabar. So you understand what mubtada is. It begins a sentence. Al-ma'u is mubtada, so it is marfu'. Al-hisan is mubtada, so it is marfu'. So that is what he's saying here. He says, وَهِيَ فِي الْأَمْثِلَةِ الثَّلَاثَةِ الْأُولَى مِنْهُ. Are the first three examples marfu'a لِأَنَّهَا مُبْتَدَآتٍ, because they are all mubtada. وَالَّذِي يَدُلُّ عَلَى رَفْعِهَا, and that which shows us that these words are marfu' is what? I think we should move so that we don't disrupt the text. Okay? That which shows us وَالَّذِي يَدُلُّ عَلَى رَفْعِهَا, that which shows us that it is marfu' وُجُودِ الضَّمَّةِ, the existence of the dhamma on it. It makes us know that this word is marfu'. في آخر كل منها, the existence of the dhamma at the end of each of it. وفي الأمثلة الثلاثة الثانية منصوبة. In the second three examples, you have, this is the first, and then you have, this is the second. Now in this second, you realize that they are mansub, they are having fatha. When the word ends with fatha, we say it is mansub. So he says in the second three, you realize that they are mansuba لأن كل منها مفعول به, because each of them is مفعول به. When we say مفعول به, we mean the object. We've already done مفعول به. والذي يدل على نسبها, and that which makes us see that it is منصوب وجود الفتحة في آخر كل منها, the availability of the fatha at the end of each of it. وفي الأمثلة الثلاثة الثالثة مجرورة. In the last three examples, which is these ones, we realize that they are majrur, and we say a word is majrur when it takes kasra in this case. So he says in the last three examples, you realize that they are majrura لأن كل منها مسبوق بحرف جر, because they are all preceded by a preposition. You can see ila here, you can see fi, you can see an. These are prepositions. When they come, the noun that comes after them takes kasra. So that is why the nouns are taking kasra. Okay. Then he says وَالَّذِي يَدُلُّ عَلَى جَرِّهَا وُجُودِ الْكَسْرَةِ فِي آخِرِ كُلِّ مِنْهَا. The kasra at the end of each of it makes us know that it is majrur. وَبِذَا. وَبِذَا means وَبِذَالِكَ. Just like we can say وَلِذَا, just to refer to وَلِذَالِكَ. Okay. It says وبذا نرى هذه الأسماء قد تغيرت أواخرها من الرفع إلى النصب ثم إلى الجر. We realize that these nouns, their endings have changed from raf' to nasb to jar. They've had three changes. وإذن فلا بد أن تكون مؤربة. And so these nouns are mu'rab. These nouns are declinable nouns. They change, they accept changes. Okay, let's come to the verbs. It says والكلمات يوقد وتزحف وتورك في الأمثلة القسم الثاني. In the second partition, these three words أفعال مضارعة, they are present tense verbs. وهي في الأمثلة الثلاثة الأولى. In the first three examples من هذا القسم, in this partition, they are مرفوعة. Marfu'a, let's go back and check. This first three, realize that we have dhamma, dhamma, dhamma. So it is marfu, as accurately explained here for us. It says لِخُلُوِّهَا مِنَ النَّوَاصِبِ وَالْجَوَازِمِ. When a verb is devoid of any article that can change its case ending, like an-nawasib. An-nawasib, when we talk about an-nawasib, we are talking about inna wa akhawatuha. We've already seen that. Inna, anna, lakinna, layta, la'alla. When these things come, those are for asma. Sorry. When we talk about an-nawasib in the case of verbs, we are talking about something like an, lan, kay, hatta, and those stuff. I think we've seen that too. Nasb al-fi'l al-mudari, you can refer and see. We say that fi'l al-mudari, if it is free from an-nawasib and it is free from al-jawazim like lam, and then lam al-amr, and then la an-nahiya. If a verb is free from all these articles, it stands alone, then the verb takes dhamma and we say it is marfu. Okay, so you realize that the first three verbs here are not preceded by anything, and so they come with dhamma. Okay, so he says لِخُلُوِهَا, due to it being free from an-nawasib wal-jawazim, because it doesn't have any articles of nasib and it doesn't have any articles of jazm. وَالَّذِي يَدُلُّ عَلَى رَفْعِهَا وُجُودُ الضَّمَّةِ فِي آخِرِ كُلِّ مِنْهَا. These are repetitions. What makes us know that it is marfu is because of the dhamma at its end. وَفِي الْأَمْثِلَةِ الثَّلَاثَةِ الثَّانِيَةِ, in the second ray, I don't want to roll back again. You can just or for the sake of those who are just using this video, those who are not referring to their books, let's scroll back again. This second partition here, you realize that here yuqid, tazhaf, turik, they all came with fatha, 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 and so we say they are mansub. Okay, so he says وَفِي الْأَمْثِلَةِ الثَّلَاثَةِ الثَّانِيَةِ مِنْهُ مَنْصُوبَةً, the verbs are mansub. لِدُخُولِ لَنْ, due to the entry of lan. Lan is part of the nawasib. لِدُخُولِ لَنْ عَلَيْهَا, because of the entry of lan upon it. وَالَّذِي يَدُلُّ عَلَى نَسْبِهَا وُجُودُ الْفَتْحَةِ فِي آخِرِ كُلِّ مِنْهَا. And then what makes us know that it is mansub is the existence of the fatha on the ending of each of these verbs. Okay. وَفِي الْأَمْثِلَةِ الثَّلَاثَةِ الْأَخِيرَةِ مَجْزُومَةً, the verbs are now majzoom. When we say something is a verb is majzoom, we mean it takes sukun in the last three cases here. So in these last three cases, you see lam coming here, and lam is what is causing the verb to end in sukun. So if I say lam adhab, it has to end in sukun. If I say lan, I will say adhaba, it has to end in fatha. If I don't bring anything at all, then it will be this case, adhabu, with dhamma. Okay. So he says, it is now majzuma, it is ending in sukun, lidukhuli adatul jazmi alayha, because of the introduction of the adatul jazm. And the adatul jazm is the tools that cause a verb to end in sukun, part of which is lam, as we've seen up there. وَالَّذِي يَدُلُّ عَلَى جَزْمِهَا وُجُودُ السُّكُونِ فِي أَوَاخِرِهَا, that which makes us know that it is jazm, it is majzoom, is the availability of the sukun at its ending. Because it is taking sukun at its ending, we know that it is majzoom. وَبِذَا نَرَى, and with that we see أَنَّ هَذِهِ الْأَفْعَالِ قَدْ تَغَيَّرَتْ أَوَاخِرُهَا مِنَ الرَّفْعِ إِلَى النَّصْبِ ثُمَّ إِلَى الْجَزْمِ. وإذا لا بد okay, sorry. So it says وإذا لا بد أن تكون معربة, and so these verbs are also معرب. They are declinable, they accept change. Now let's look at something here again before we move. Now the lesson keeps moving forward, so we need to give it our attention and open up everything. I started with you and I told you that nouns take 3 of those vowels, verbs take 3. Look at the nouns partition here where he explained the nouns. You realize that he says وَبِذَا نَرَى هَذِهِ الْأَسْمَاء قَدْ تَغَيَّرَتْ أَوَاخِرُهَا مِنَ الرَّفْعِ إِلَى النَّصْبِ إِلَى الْجَرِّ So the nouns have moved from Dhamma to Fatha to Kesra. 3. And then the verb, what happened? وبذا نرى أن هذه الأفعال قد تغيرت أواخرها من الرفع, takes the Dhamma, and Nazb, Fatha, and then what? Not Jar, but Al-Jazm, Sukun. So it also takes these 3. Okay, let's get to the Qawaid. He says, الأحوال التي تعتري أواخر الكلمات المعربة 4. The case, when you hear أحوال also, we are talking about the harakat. So here you can just say الحركات التي, the vowels that take over the endings of words, the vowels that occupy the endings of words that changes are 4. The vowels are 4. وهي, these vowels are الرفع والنصب والجر والجزم. So a word that is declinable, that can change its case ending, it has 4 chances. It has 4 variables. We are talking about Dhamma, which is Ar-Raf'u. We are talking about Fatha, which is An-Nazb. And then we talk about Al-Jar, which is Kesra, Al-Jazm, which is Sukun. So these are the 4 vowels. Now, when a word is a noun, it has 3 chances, 3 slots. It has Ar-Raf'u, Al-Nazb, and then Al-Jar. And when it is a verb, it has 3 slots. It has Ar-Raf'u, Al-Nazb, Wal-Jazm. وتسمى أنواع الإعراب. I've already told you from the beginning that when you hear أنواع الإعراب, we are talking about al-harakat. We are talking about the vowels, as he has already explicitly explained here. أنواع الإعراب. These are called types of إعراب. So when you are asked ما هي أنواع الإعراب, you say الرفع والنصب والجر والجزم. Okay. The second قاعدة, he says علامات الإعراب الأصلية 4. We have علامات الإعراب الأصلية, the basic signs, the basic markers of grammatical analysis or declension, and then we have the secondary, which is علامات الإعراب الفرعية. Those are not Fatha, Kesra, Dhamma. They are not these diacritics. Those will have to do with Fatha, Alif, Waw, Ya. You now have to be dealing with letters instead of the diacritics. So it says Alamatul I'rab al-Asliyatu 4. The basic markers of I'rab are 4. Wahia ad-Dammatu, which is al-Rafu, al-Fathatu, which is al-Nazb, and then al-Kasratu, which is al-Jar, and then was Sukun, al-Sukun, which is al-Jazm. It says Wayanubu anha, and these signs are replaced by alamat ukhra. They are replaced by other signs. تذكر في مواضعها. They will be mentioned. تذكر, they will be mentioned في مواضعها, in its right place and time. Yani when we get to the is topic, you will be told that this replace the alamat al-i'rab al-asliya. Okay, the last qaida, it says ar-raf'u wal-nazbu yashtarikani. There is a bit of space. Ar-raf'u wal-nazbu yashtarikani fil asma'i wal-af'al. Now, both nouns al-asma and verbs al-af'al can become marfu and can become mansub. You can have a noun which is marfu, you can have a verb which is marfu. You can have a noun which is mansub and you can have a verb which is mansub. وَالْجَرُّ يَخْتَصُّ بِالْأَسْمَاءِ. But jar, which is the what is even the English terminology? Jar, basically the kasra, is specifically for nouns. كما يختص الجزم بالأفعال, and jazm, which is sukun, is also specifically for verbs. Okay, al-jarru is the genitive case, and then al-jazm is the jussive case. Let me just give the English name of the of the English terminologies for the four. Al-Raf'u, in English we say nominative case. Al-Nazbu, we say accusative case. Al-Jarru, we say genitive case. Al-Jazmu, we say jussive case. Okay, this brings us to the end of this topic. I hope it was comprehensive and all-inclusive. Regardless, whatever question that you have, please don't keep it to yourself. Do well and ask, and we will try our possible best to clarify for you. Okay, with this we come to the end of this episode. Till we meet again, have a very good time. I always enjoy my time being with you. I hope to meet you guys again. Till we meet again. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.